デートの約束。映画、映画、音楽、音楽、雑誌、雑誌、スポーツ、スポーツ、デート、デート、テニス、テニス、テレビ、テレビ、アイスクリーム、アイスクリーム、ハンバーガー、ハンバーガー、お酒、お酒、お茶、お茶、コーヒー、コーヒー、水、水、朝ごはん、朝ごはん、昼ごはん、昼ごはん、晩ごはん、晩ごはん、家、家、うち、うち、学校、学校、カフェ、カフェ、明日、明日、今日、今日、朝、朝、今晩、今晩、毎日、毎日、毎晩、毎晩、毎晩、毎晩、週末、週末、土曜日、土曜日、日曜日、日曜日、いつ、いつ、ごろ、ごろ、行く、行く、帰る、帰る、聞く、聞く、飲む、飲む、話す、話す、読む、読む、起きる、起きる、食べる、食べる、寝る、寝る、見る、見る、来る、来る、する、する、勉強する、勉強する、いい、いい、早い、早い、あまり、あまり、全然、全然、大抵、大抵、ちょっと、ちょっと、時々、時々、よく、よく、そうですね、そうですね。でも、でも、どうですかどうですかええ、ええ。Today we're going to learn something about verbs. You may consider this a verb, isn't it? Well, this is not a common verb like eat, drink, or study. So today, let's talk about these common verbs. First of all, you need to know what a diction form is. The diction form is a prototype of the verb, and is also the form that you can see directly in the dictionary. This prototype is like a person's original appearance, just as a person can choose different clothes and decorations according to the situation and occasion. But their own appearance does not change. The same is true for verbs. The prototype is the foundation, and on that basis, there can be different variations. There are three types of verbs: lu verbs, u verbs, and irregular verbs. Among them, the rules for lu verbs are the simplest, so we can start with the simple ones. Why are lu verbs called lu verbs? Because the last kana of lu verbs is lu. For example, 食べる、寝る、見る. Similarly, the last kana of u verbs is all from the u column, such as 行く、話す、飲む. If the last kana of the verb is lu, does it have to be a lu verb? Not necessarily, because it may also be a u verb, such as 帰る. The classification of verbs is fixed, so we cannot decide freely. So we just need to memorize them according to the classification in the textbook or dictionary. Irregular verbs, roughly speaking, there are just three of them: する, something する, and 来る. The must form in Japanese is the applied form of verb. is commonly used in formal or polite situations, such as when speaking to strangers, customers, or superiors. Let me show you how to get the must form from the dictionary form. So, are you ready to transform? For the lu verbs, you can simply drop the lu and then add mas. 食べる drop the lu. 食べます。寝る 寝ます。見る 見ます。For the u verbs, the last kana can be changed from the u column to the e column and then add mas. For example, in 行く, the last kana ku needs to be changed to ki and then add mas. Similarly, in 話す, the last kana su becomes shi and then add mas. Likewise, in 飲む, the last kana mu becomes mi and then add mas. If you can't remember the whole 50-syllable table right now, you can simply change the u of the last kana to I, like this. mu becomes mi, mu, mi, 飲む 飲みます. For the last group, する becomes し and then add ます. Likewise, 勉強する follows the same rule, so する becomes し and then add ます. 来る becomes き and then add ます. So those are the rules for forming the must form for the three groups of verbs. There are many forms of verbs in Japanese, which can be one of the difficulties in Japanese learning. Therefore, we need to deepen our memory as we practice. Let's consider some sentences with this must form. Do you still remember the structure in Japanese? The verb comes after the object, and the subject can be omitted depending on the situation. Actually, there should be a o between the object and the verb. This o is a particle that comes after the object. Unlike English, you can't directly combine a verb with an object in Japanese. And this particle o is like a connector that links two pipes. What happens if I drop particles? Well, in informal speech, some particles can be omitted if it doesn't cause any misunderstanding. However, in formal speech, it's better to keep the particles. 朝ごはんを食べます. 朝ごはん means breakfast, and 食べます means to eat, with o being the particle after the object. Breakfast. テレビを見ます. I watch TV. If you want to say, I often watch TV, you can add よく to this sentence. よくテレビを見ます. Be careful. The pitch accent of よく is on the よ. よく. Do you watch TV often? Well, sometimes. Okay, for sometimes, you can say 時々テレビを見ます. 学校に行きます. Now we'll learn another particle, に, which indicates the destination. In this sentence, 学校, the school, is my destination, and you need a particle に after it. See, in Japanese, you need something between the object and the verb. Here comes another one. 学校へ行きます. When the へ is used as a particle, it's pronounced as え, and it indicates the direction. These two sentences are the same when translated into English. With に, you're trying to say the school is the destination, and with え, the direction is towards the school. Sometimes you don't have to emphasize the destination or direction, so you can say both of them. How do you negate the must form? You just need to replace must with ません. For example, テレビを見ます. テレビを見ません. 朝ごはんを食べません. And what about questions? You can simply add か after must. コーヒーを飲みますか? コーヒーを飲みません。If you don't drink so much, you can say あまりコーヒーを飲みません。The あまり something ません means not that much. If you want to negate it totally, you can say 全然コーヒーを飲みません。お茶を飲みますか？よくうちでお茶を飲みます。Okay, another particle is で which indicates the place of the action. So the action of drinking tea happens at home. Here comes the summary. This is just a third lesson and we already learned 7 particles so far. Incredible, right? The first one is wa, which marks the topic. Mo means to, also. Ga emphasizes the part before it in the sentence. O follows the object. Ni indicates the destination. E indicates the direction. And de indicates the place of the action. Oh, I almost forgot the particle, no. Ni can be used after a place to indicate destination. In this case, the verb following ni is usually iku, kuru, or kairu. Ni can also be used after a time, etc. De can be used after a place to indicate the place of action, like some action done at a certain place. You can also think of it as method, in which way or how you do something. That is the point when we talk about the difference between ni and de. Of course, there are plenty of meanings for ni and de, and we're going to learn more about them in future lessons. うちに勉強します。The home is not the destination, but the place for the action study. So you need to say うちで勉強します。Or you can think like this. How do I study? At home. The method. And the particle for the method is で. As I mentioned in summary, the particle ni can also be used after a time reference. For example, 日曜日に日本に行きます。There are 2 ni in this sentence. The first one is after the time reference, Sunday, 日曜日. And the second one is after the destination, Japan, 日本. 明日に日本に行きます。Ni cannot be used after a relative time reference like 明日. So drop the ni and the sentence will be okay. 明日日本に行きます。How can I know when I need to use the ni after the time references? The definitive time can be followed by ni. For example, 日曜日 Sunday 9時 9 o'clock. The relative time cannot be followed by ni. For example, 明日 tomorrow 毎日 every day. For the part of a day or weekend, ni can be added or omitted. ませんか? You can use this ませんか when suggesting or inviting someone. Don't forget the title of this lesson is Making a Date. The ません is just like the negative mass form for the verbs. Adding a ka at the end, it will be an invitation. For example, コーヒーを飲みませんか? This is an invitation. Compare with this. If you say コーヒーを飲みますか? That means, do you drink coffee? This is not an invitation. If you accept the invitation or suggestion, you can just say いいですね。いいですね。土曜日に映画を見ませんか? いいですね。For negative response, you can just say 土曜日はちょっと. This ちょっと explains everything. メアリーさん、週末は大抵何をしますか? そうですね。 大抵うちで勉強します。時々映画を見ます。そうですか。じゃあ、土曜日に映画を見ませんか？土曜日はちょっと。じゃあ、日曜日はどうですか？いいですね。おはようございます。おはよう。早いですね。ええ、今日は京都に行きます。京都で映画を見ます。いいですね。何時ごろ帰りますか？9時ごろです。晩ご飯は？食べません。そうですか。じゃあ、行ってらっしゃい。行ってきます。土曜日はどうですか？うちで勉強します。何時ごろ寝ますか？